Content creation and editing using the editors on the BrailleSense. On the BrailleSense there are two editors, the word processor and the notepad. I'm going to go ahead and press the function key F1 to go to the main menu.
File Manager, F.
And I will space dot forward down to see that
Word Processor, W.
both of these applications
Notepad, N.
are available towards the top of the main menu, with word processor being second and the notepad being third. It is recommended that when you create content on the BrailleSense, that you do so in the notepad. And I'm going to go ahead and press enter to open the notepad now.
Top of document.
And we hear that I'm already at the top of the document, and I'm going to go ahead and press a keystroke that will allow me to open a second notepad document, backspace with the letter O.
Top of document.
So you see, if I press what I refer to as the Alt-Tab key in the Windows world, on the BrailleSense it's F2 and F3.
Task name, Notepad.
I see Notepad.
Task name, Notepad 2.
And Notepad 2. I'll pop back over to the main menu.
File Manager, F.
F1. Press W to open the word processor.
Top of document.
Now if I press that keystroke to bring up the list of open applications, function keys F1 and F4.
Task name, Notepad 1.3 list item.
You see that I've got a list of 3 items. We've got the notepad.
Task name, Word Processor 3.3
and
list
word
item.
processor.
Task name, Word Processor 3.3 list item.
And which is the third item here.
Task name, Notepad 2.2.3 list item. Task name, Notepad 1.3 list item.
And the notepad. Let's go into the notepad. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and start typing some text here. This is a demonstration
demonstration
of how I can type
type
in contracted Braille.
in lower C.
Oh, I don't want
Lower
to do
C.
that. Contracted C-O-N-T-R-A-C-T-E-D sign.
Contracted.
Braille.
B-R-L.
Still learning UEB, folks. On the BrailleSense.
O on the
And I'm going to type .6
B-R-L.
B-R-L capital S-E-N S-E.
S-E.
Period.
Lower D.
I'll go ahead and
Braille's new paragraph.
press enter a couple times to start a new paragraph, and I'll add some more text. Now is the time for all good people to come to the aid of their computer.
C-O-M-P-U-T.
Okay, so
lower computer period.
let's say that I want to take part of this document that I've just created and put it over into the other document. But first I better save this document with a file name. I'll press enter with the letter S for save as.
File save dialog. File name, noname.txt at a
And let's
combo box.
call this demo
D-E-M-O, demo.
1.
Numbers 1.
Okay. I'll press enter on that.
Saving. Save complete. Loading. Demo1.txt open.
And I'm going to go ahead and find the beginning. This is a demonstration. I'm simply using my scroll buttons, and I'm going to take this "now is the time" sentence and put it into my other document. So I've routed my cursor by pressing the cursor routing button right over the .6 at the beginning of the sentence in the word now. And I'm going to, oops, I didn't complete that. I need to press enter with B to begin the block.
Start selection.
Or the selection, as they call it. And I'm going to go to the end of the sentence and press the rounding button after the period, and I see this flashing full cell going up and down, which indicates the end of my block. And let's go ahead and I think I'm going to cut this out of here, out of this document, with a Enter X.
Cut to clipboard.
I could have copied it with Enter C, but I want to put it into a different document altogether, so I'm going to press F2 and F3 together.
Task name, Notepad 2.
And I'm going to press Enter with V.
Paste.
To paste that text. Now I think I'll save this document.
File save dialog.
Enter S
File name,
as
no
demo
name.txt, D-E-M-O, demo.
2.
Numbers 2. Saving. Save complete. Loading. Demo2.txt open.
Okay, so now if I press F2, F3 together, I can cycle between my open apps.
Task name, word processor. Blank. Task name, notepad. Task name, notepad 2.
Okay.
Task name, word processor.
And I
Blank.
still have an empty word processor. So let's go ahead
Task name, notepad.
and go to the top of this document,
document,
here. This where we have this is a demonstration. I'm just going to go ahead and select all with an Enter A.
Select all.
And copy that text.
Copied.
And put it into that word processor.
Task name, notepad 2. Task name, word processor. Blank.
Enter V to paste.
Paste.
And I see that
Type in contracted Braille on the BrailleSense.
all the text is here.
End of document.
Okay, so I went down to the end of the document with space 456, and I see that there is a cursor with dot 7 and 8 make up the cursor here. Let's go back up a little bit
Blank.
here, and I'm going to
BrailleSense.
try to
Blank. Blank.
misspell some words. So now
Dots N O W
I
N O dots
want
capital I W A N T T want
to
T O 2
show
SH
SHOW sign
show
how
H O W how
to
T O 2
misspell MISSPELLL some
Misspell.
words.
Dot 5 F some dot 5 W
Which
S
I gotta tell you, folks, it's not
No
a
E.
real far stretch for me here
Works period.
to misspell words on purpose. I'm always misspelling them accidentally. So why don't I go ahead and issue the command to start the spell check, which is enter with the letter K.
Check spelling dialog. Range whole document 1 4 combo box.
So I can select a range. I'm in this combo box here, and I can select the whole document.
Paragraph combo box.
The paragraph.
From cursor to bottom combo box.
From the cursor to the bottom.
Current word combo box.
The current word.
Whole document combo box.
And I'm back to whole document. Let's do that.
Searching. BrailleSense.
So in this case, it actually indicated that BrailleSense is a misspelling.
Change word BrailleSense edit box.
And it is not.
No change 1 4 list item.
I'm just going to say, yeah, no change.
Word replaced. Right now I want to show how to.
And now I want to show how to. So what's the word?
Change word want edit box.
Change. I want. W-A-N-T is what I see in the A-N-T-T rather is what I see in the Braille display.
No change 1 6 list item.
And let's go ahead and move down this list with space stop 4.
1 2 6 list item.
And if I look at it in Braille, I see, hey, there's the correct spelling. I just press enter to
Word replaced.
replace
Range
it.
to show how to misspell some works.
And I see selected is, let's see here.
Change word misspell edit box.
Misspell is the word.
No change 1 5 list item. Misspell 2 5 list item.
And I see misspell, the correct spelling. Press enter
Word
to,
replaced.
to select
26
it.
words. Check 3 misspellings found 3 words corrected.
And I hear some stats, how many words were replaced, how many words were checked, and so forth. So that's been done, the spell check. Let's go ahead and look
End of document.
at another feature.
Now I want to show how to blank. BrailleSense blank. Now I want to show how to misspell.
Let's see
Blank.
here.
BrailleSense type in. This is a demonstration of how I can. Is a demonstration of capital I can type in contracted Braille.
Oh, here's an interesting word. Let's see what it means. The word Braille. So I'm going to press enter, backspace, and the letter D to bring up the dictionary and thesaurus. This is a feature that is available free with the BrailleSense 6, whereas previously it had been a paid add-on.
Webster's English Dictionary keyword Braille edit box.
So I can look up the Webster's English Dictionary definition of this word. Let's
Searching.
go ahead and do
Braille
that.
multi-read edit box.
And I'm placing a multi-read edit box. And if I go ahead and tell it to speak that.
Braille. Noun. Want a system of writing for blind people in which
A system of writing for blind people in which
letters are represented by raised dots.
letters are represented by raised dots.
A book made available in Braille.
Wow, imagine that. Okay, so that is really cool and exciting that you can actually, as you're writing, get some definitions if you're not sure of a definition of a word, or you can get some synonyms if you're looking at some different ways to say some words within a thesaurus.
Type in contracted Braille on the
Okay, so, and those are available, that dictionary, the spell check and the dictionary, of course, are available within both the Notepad and the word processor editors.
Task name, Notepad.
There's a Notepad.
Task name, Notepad 2. Task name, word processor.
And we're in the
Type in
word
contracted Braille
processor.
End of document.
Okay, so I've jumped to the end of the document. I'm going to create a new line. And I do want to say that if you want to print from your word processor or your Notepad, you need to know some very important information. And that is the word processor is what you could, bring up other people's documents into and review them and print from. You cannot print to an ink printer from the Notepad. By the same token, you cannot print to an embosser from the word processor. So the word processor is where you print text from, and the Notepad is where you will print your Braille from. And both of those applications are going to require drivers installed either directly for the device that you'd like to print to. It needs to be developed for Android, or you can download one of the third-party applications like Mopria, Hammer Print, HP Print, or some other utility for some other printers that may or may not work. But the three that I mentioned do work well. The Mopria and the Hammer Print are basically repositories of common printer drivers, generic printer drivers, and so forth. But I mentioned earlier that with literary Braille, or in text, we've got the cursor, which takes the shape of dots 7 and 8. By the way, if you're looking at this video, you're probably noticing that you've got the sim Braille at the bottom of the screen, as well as the actual text. Rest assured that when you save this document and you want to bring it up on your in your word processor on your computer, really it's just a matter of connecting the cable between your computer and the BrailleSense, and you can actually view the BrailleSense and browse it as if it were an external drive. Select the document that you'd like to open into Microsoft Word, for example, whether it's a text document or a word processor document. Press Enter on it, and it'll come right up in your word processor in regular text. The math editor is also only available in the word processor. Oops, let me backspace that letter out of there. And I'm going to bring up the math editor by pressing backspace with the letter M.
Start Nemeth mode.
And it says Start Nemeth mode. And we notice that our cursor shape has changed to only a single dot. I think that's dot 7, or is that 8? It's one dot. Anyways, if I start typing in here, I'm just going to type 2y.
Number sign 2y. 2y
Equals.
Period. Equal.
3x.
Numbers 3x. 3x.
Times.
Multi.
Let's say 3.
Colon.
Oh.
Colon. Space.
Yeah.
Multi.
Let's do it right.
Number sign 3.
Okay, and there's my equation. And now I'd like to graph that. I'm going to press Enter backspace G.
2y equal 3x multi 3. 2y equal 3x multi 3 1 1 list item.
And immediately I'm brought into the HIMS Math Graphing Calculator. So I've actually changed places. Hey, I'll show you. If I press F1 and F4.
Task name, BrailleSense Math 4 list item.
I see that I now have 4 applications open. Braille, what they call it? BrailleSense Math.
Task name, word processor 3 4 list item.
Word processor.
Task name, Notepad 2 2 4 list item.
Notepad 2.
Task name, Notepad 1 4 list
Notepad 1. All of these are different editors that I'm working in. Let's jump back down. Space 4 5 6.
Task name, BrailleSense Math 4 list item.
Get back into the
2y equal 3x multi 3 1 1 list
Math.
item.
And let's say that I want to look at this little equation.
File, F, pull down edit, E,
or the
pull down
graph.
menu, graph, G, pull down output, O, pull down
I
menu.
can set the output
Display tactile graph.
to
T,
either
enter T
display
menu
the
item.
tactile graph on my BrailleSense
Send to embosser. P, enter P
or
menu
send
item.
it to a Braille embosser. I think I will go ahead
Display
and
tactile graph.
display
T,
the tactile
converting image.
graph. And I see where my Y and my X axis converge here. And as I use my scroll button to move up, I see the line moving to the right. And if I go down, I just quickly press the scroll button down, and I come across my horizontal axis, and now I'm moving to the left of that. Okay, so that's that kind of a quick and dirty way of looking at like a slope of a curve. I'm going to go ahead and press space. Actually, I'm just, space with E.
2y equal 3x multi 311 list item.
Could have pressed F4 too to just basically escape and move back to my equation and say that I'm satisfied with what I've seen here. And if you're looking visually, you'll see that the graphs are actually created in real time as you're typing, and you can keep adding graphs here, and it will, even if they overlap, because it is in color, you'll be able to see, the sighted folks will be able to see where your graphs overlap. And I believe it's up to 6 colors before it starts rotating back to the first color. But let's say that I just want this graph and I want to insert it into my word processor. I'm going to press enter with the letter G.
Successfully inserted math graph.
And it's a successfully inserted math graph. And if I go to the top of this document, space 1, 2, 3,
Top of document this.
and start reading from the beginning to the end, enter G.
This is a demonstration of how I can type in contracted Braille on the BrailleSense. Now I want to show how to misspell some works. 2y equal 3x multi 3. End of document.
We actually see that we have mixed Braille literary code and Nimith math in the BrailleSense. And of course, you can change that if you're in a school district or a state where they've standardized on
New paragraph.
UEB math. You can certainly do that as well from within the settings under File in the word processor.